I want to get back on some stuff we were touching on with the last show, talking about the league meetings in Boca Raton, Florida. All right,
there's a lot going on.
Now, there's the first thing we're really going to touch on is the rule proposals. Now, we spoke about some of the bigger ones the other day, but we have a lot more. We're going to get into about 10 of them, some longer than others, and then also spinning off this, there's a lot of people there doing interviews, so we got some things from the Rams GM, the Giants owner, Green Bay's coach, so we're going to get into everything they're talking about. But first, let's kick it off. Now, we first reported, because this is what was being said, but Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk, originally everyone was saying that 2 personal fouls, it's being proposed that 2 personal fouls would have any player ejected. Now they're saying that's not what's being proposed. That, any 2 personal fouls would be an automatic ejection. They're saying that that's not correct, and what it actually is being proposed is that 2 unsportsmanlike conducts will get you ejected. Now, let's hear what these 2 guys got to say about it, and then I'll tell you what Richard Sherman's got to say about it. So what do you think about this? About 2 unsportsmanlike?
Go for it, Sean.
Do you think it's a problem, good, bad, indifferent? Wait, what's the deal?
It doesn't really make a difference to me either way. I mean, 2 personal foul or 2 unsportsmanlike conducts, I guess, is more justifiable for an ejection, I guess, because I mean that's when you're going over to the sideline, screaming at a ref or something, or when you try to take a player's head off or something like that. So I guess something like that, or taunting or whatever the case may be. I guess if they want to eject a player after doing something like that twice, okay. To me, I mean, the face masks and the other thing. If you want to make it an ejection rule, something like that to me would be more justifiable for an ejection. But I think the whole thing is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have been okay with it if it was just personal fouls, because you're talking about face masks and stuff. A lot of that stuff is incidental. Do you know what I mean?
Sometimes.
But they're only talking about unsportsmanlike conduct. I don't really like it that much, but I'm not going to cry about it now. Do you know what I mean?
So my whole thing is this now. They want to not impede on the flow of the game, right? Well, now these challenges of unsportsmanlike are going to have to be under review.
If it's passed. This isn't official yet. It's just proposed.
It'll have to be reviewable.
That's true, because you got to defend yourself. Like,
exactly. The players' union's going to be like, well, what? So now you're going to say, because all it takes is that one player that will get it overturned and then didn't get to play the rest of the game and his team lost.
Exactly, and the refs don't like throwing people out. They don't want to be the determining factor. Most of the refs say that they would rather throw the flag and then let Goodell in the office deal with it on Monday, and he can miss next game. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Mind you, Odell Beckham, Josh Norman, if this was a rule last year, they wouldn't have been thrown out. There was not 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties to one of those players in that game. So neither one of them would have been thrown out anyway. I don't know about the Burfict play. What about the playoff game with Vontaze Burfict? Do you think but did he get 2 unsportsmanlikes? Does anybody remember?
I don't know.
I don't remember either.
Basically, though, he was trying to just hurt people. All right, he tried to do a WWE move with the freaking ankle lock, man.
And here's what I don't like about this. I think the whole thing is ridiculous as it is, but here's the thing: if a player does that twice in a game and you want to eject him, okay, but 2 unsportsmanlike conducts where, I mean, an unsportsmanlike conduct could be, taunting a guy. It could be just out there on the field talking trash like football players do. Now you're telling me if a player does that twice in a game, he's going to get ejected?
Get this, if he does it against his own team, he's going to get ejected too. If you're on my team and the ref hears me saying some I don't know, a lot of people were saying during the Beckham Norman fight that there was homophobic slurs being said. If you say that to somebody on your team, they want to eject you. That's
once or twice?
Well, I guess it would be put into the equation. So, if you curse out your quarterback, and they're really trying to crack down. You guys remember when Colin Kaepernick got flagged for saying something?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
they did work it in that you could do that. So now, even if you're yelling at your own team, if they're going to throw a flag, that's one of your 2 strikes. But real quick, we talked about that enough. Richard Sherman, of course, is against it. Do you know what I'm saying? But what's funny what Richard Sherman said, like, he's really coming at Goodell. He's saying he's just another suit. All right. Now, let me tell you what Sherman said, but I kind of like it and I kind of don't. All right. He said Goodell is just another suit, which I agree with, but he said that he can never understand football. Goodell can't, because he's never stepped on the field, and also he's never been flagged for personal fouls, and he doesn't understand that sometimes, basically I'm paraphrasing, that the refs got it all wrong. But I want to talk about his statement a little. Fine, I'm cool with you saying Roger Goodell's just a suit. I'm cool with that. What I don't like is Richard Sherman saying that because he never played football, he can't talk, similar to when Sheldon Richardson was getting a lot of trash talked on him. And he said if you want to talk about football, maybe you could go have kids, they could play in the NFL, and then you could talk about football. Hey guys, I'm sorry, your egos don't have to be as big as your paychecks. Shut up. You got to play in the NFL to know football. Shut up. I'm sorry. Like, this is ridiculous. No. Okay, and on top of that, you're saying he knows nothing of sculpting the game, Richard Sherman. Think about this. Wellington Mara, all right? The dude who pretty much founded the Giants, all right? Okay. The Duke is written on every single NFL football. The Duke is Wellington Mara. That is on there because his thumbprints are all over the game. He helped to design the game of football. Never played it. Richard Sherman thinks people like that don't know anything about football. He's an idiot. You went to Stanford and you're an idiot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's not that bright, you know, but not only that,
he probably beat me in a math quiz. Like, I'm not going to say he wouldn't, but, well, maybe not math. He definitely beat me in English, though.
He'll definitely beat you with the cool hairdo, though.
Hey, my mohawk could go to battle with his dreads any day of the week.
All right, well, let's put up a poll.
All right, but let's keep it moving here. We'll start. We'll go into some of the other proposed rule changes.
Oh man!
All right, the Ravens.
How many?
We're gonna run through them.
Well, how many? No, how many rule changes were proposed?
19. We're gonna talk about 10.
Okay.
Okay.
I was about to say. I was like, all right, strap in, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to be on a long ride.
No, this happens every year. Every single team can put in a proposal, so can the competition committee. Normally, when a team puts in a proposal, nothing happens with it. But what it does is it starts the ball rolling for the competition committee to become involved later in years. Right. Just like all the talk, which we will get to, about the extra. Well, let's just start with there.
Let's go.
Now, last year, they did the 15-yard extra point. They tested it out in the Pro Bowl before, and then they did it all season long. That was never made official. Now it's being motioned that this will be official and this will be what it is from here on out.
That's good.
What do you think?
I like it. I mean, for the first time ever, I think a couple of years ago, I think it was a Saints game, I saw someone actually miss an extra point from like the original point, you know, that they kicked the extra point. I like it because it makes it's not an automatic extra point anymore.
Exactly.
It makes the game that much more interesting.
I gotta disagree with you guys. I don't like it. First of all, not that it ever happens, but I think it completely, you will never again like see a fake field goal. Do you know what I mean? Go for the fake extra point, run for two.
Maybe.
That's never gonna happen again.
Maybe.
But besides that,
what, you think we'll see another a drop kick?
Wow, is that even legal though? I don't understand the drop kick.
The last person to do it,
who was that?
Doug Flutie.
Yeah, it was Doug Flutie. It was. I saw it on his biography show thing. But getting a little off topic. But
what? We're talking about extra points.
Yeah,
How is that off topic?
You're right. You're absolutely right. But I don't like it. I don't like any changes in the game of football, to be honest. I always think they're trying to soften it. I don't like. I don't want to be the team. It's an extra point. It's a point after touchdown. It's a free kick.
So then what should it be to you?
How does moving the extra point back make the game softer? How does it make the game? Because you're saying.
Because no. On that particular, that doesn't make the game softer. But I don't like. I don't like being determined on an extra point.
So then,
if
how do
we're
you
going to win
it
or not?
How do you fix it?
I don't think they ever should have changed it. I don't think they ever should have changed
Extra
it.
points don't really come into.
I think it's too
They don't
easy.
come into play a lot when it.
And I don't
comes
want them
deciding a
to.
game.
I don't want them to. Now
kick
they do.
Don't you kick at the same level, like almost through all levels?
I don't know.
But even
high
moving- even moving it back is
college,
not
and then you're
really
going to go to the
gonna-
pros, and then you're going to kick at the
There was
same level.
far more extra points missed this year. I don't understand.
Exactly.
But how many?
I-
But how many
exactly.
actually?
It
But how
helps
many
decide
actually decided games though?
Well, I mean, you got the computer over there. You don't. There's stats on it. Believe me, this is a big talking point. You
I
can
don't know.
look it
I
up.
like it because the automatic or the extra point was automatic before.
It was something like
Except for that one kick I saw in that Saints game, like I don't know, 7 years ago.
It was something like 98.5% made before they
Yeah,
moved
it's
it,
a-
and this
it's
year
an
it was down
automatic
to like
thing.
92.
Exactly. So you know,
So you're saying it's not that big of a drop, but
it's
I
not
don't know.
that big of a drop because they're professional kickers.
No,
They shouldn't
that's
be
true.
They should
That's
be
true.
missing
And
extra
it's-
points in the first place.
You know,
That's
they
true.
only moved it like 5 yards, right?
Well,
10
no, they
yards?
moved it from like the 2.5, and now it's a 15-yard kick. So they like doubled it, basically.
Yeah. So you're a professional. You should be able to kick that.
yeah,
No, because the end zone is 10 yards.
10 yards.
And then
I don't know where they
so they
actually-
moved. So they moved
think
it
they
back.
snap
I
it-
think 3 yards.
No, they snap it like from the 10 or the 8, and
no,
then the
it's,
kicker's 7
they snap
yards
it
back.
from the 2, I think, to the 10 because it's 8 yards. I'm pretty sure from the point of the snap to the holder,
So
and that's where they kick it from.
okay.
On field goals, on
No, it was snapped
he'll
from
be
the 2 to
kicking, so
begin
he'll
with.
be kicking from
That's
the
how it
5,
was to
though.
begin with.
If it's that because there's 10 yards in the end zone. 10 yards, so you'd be kicking it from the 5 if it's 15 yards.
They're not kicking. I think they're kicking from the 15-yard line, making it a 25-yard extra point, and then it becomes 32 when the kicker drops back. That's how it works out. If it was a 15-yard kick, that's what it was originally. Do you know what I'm saying?
Either way, you know what? It's, for the game of football, okay? All right?
You're emphasizing the foot.
Football.
I don't want more kicker in my game. I'm sorry. I just don't.
the deciding
I get it,
factor being
but it is
on the
what it
person who actually uses their foot to put it to the ball.
Well, and Ndamukong Suh uses his feet a lot too, though.
but that's another story for another day.
That's his old ways, apparently. All right, he doesn't stomp people out anymore.
Stomp
okay?
them out. All right, but let's look at this one. The Ravens would like to give each team 3 challenges and expand reviewable plays, meaning pretty much make everything reviewable and give everyone an extra replay.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah, I
The
like it.
simple one.
Integrity of the game, because if anything, if there is a mistake, you can correct it right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, it slows things down a little bit, but no, I'd rather the call be right. Do you know
Exactly,
what I mean?
because
And I'm
everybody
not
be
wishing
sitting
the
on, be
football game's over.
boo-hoo-hoo.
How
We
many
could've
times
won
have
the
you
game.
seen a challengeable play where the refs clearly got it wrong on the field, and then the team didn't have a challenge left? And
Yeah, ridiculous.
So then the play, the call stood.
I also think that if you get all of your challenges wrong, you know how you used to get awarded that extra challenge?
Yes.
All right.
When you won.
If they were going to do that, if you keep getting them right, you get that third one right, why shouldn't you get a fourth one? You got them all right. Do you know what I'm saying?
I hear you, yeah.
Yeah, like maybe the refs are having a bad
They
day.
keep giving you the stick, Jimmy, and you keep giving it back.
All right, let's move it on. If the QB hits the ground, he can't throw the football. Let's explain this a little. Peyton Manning did this a lot, especially as he got older. Dive down.
As
hit
he
the
got
ground.
older.
John's boy over there,
Yeah.
Peyton Manning.
He dives down, hits the ground, not get touched, jump up, throw the ball. They want to make that a penalty now. I don't know how it would be worded, but it is proposed that a quarterback can no longer do that. What is being said is that if he hits the ground, it's being tossed up, perhaps he could still run. He just wouldn't be able to throw. That's what they're proposing. Or it's also a possibility that the play would just be dead and it would be a sack.
I don't agree with that because if it's behind the line of scrimmage, you should be able to throw the ball.
I agree. Yeah, exactly. It's
It
still
should be the same way
you
that it
didn't-
is. Just
you didn't,
because,
go
especially in conditions in Florida, which is swampy. You know what I mean? You're gonna get slick. You're gonna slip. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah,
And then
yeah,
you're
yeah.
gonna move around, and then you're gonna want to make that. And then there's gonna be people that are gonna give up on the play, and then it's gonna cause a big play to happen. So no, you know what? No, leave it alone.
Yeah,
Leave
the
that-
defense
leave
should
that
be
alone.
play discipline. And
Leave that
it
alone.
will-
Exactly. You know what I mean? There should be somebody, spying on that QB, put a linebacker on him and take him out.
It's going to extend. Well, I shouldn't say it's going to extend plays. It's going to keep plays extended, because how many times do you see a quarterback roll out of the pocket, maybe he slips and falls, and then what you're saying, if he falls then the play is blown dead?
No.
It would either the play what's being proposed would either be dead or he could no longer throw it.
Once you're past the line of scrimmage, you're a runner anyway.
Oh, we're talking behind the line of scrimmage.
Because if he runs past the line of scrimmage, you can't throw the ball.
Oh yeah,
you can't do that anyway.
What I'm saying is that if a quarterback rolls outside the pocket and he falls down, the play is blown dead now. I don't like that. No, I like the fact that if a quarterback can roll outside the pocket, still make that throw, he should still be able to make that throw.
Yeah, so you're opposed to the rule change.
Yes.
These rules aren't set. These are just proposals.
I know that.
They're proposals.
Now, this one should be a quick and easy. Washington wants no OT in preseason. I could care less.
Yeah, nobody cares about preseason. It's just a way for us to kind of see who's going to make the third and fourth string.
I will say one thing, though. It kind of sucks for those really on-the-bubble guys, because if I'm, an undrafted free agent out of some school like Newberry or something like that, rookie free agent, and my team gets overtime, and you know what, that gets me 10 minutes extra playing time, that's not going to happen, and that's kind of sucks. Do you know what I mean? For that particular player, because all it is another, stage. But I mean, it's preseason, and I really don't care that much.
What was that rule proposal again? I missed
no OT in preseason.
No,
the game just ended. Who cares?
Okay. Who cares?
That was my original thing.
You have a tie on your preseason schedule, your preseason record. Who cares?
Yeah.
Preseason doesn't mean anything anyway.
Yeah, I know. I hear you, but I'm saying the longer audition each player can get, a little bit better. But, everybody's scared of injuries, but that's enough on that. This is what, do you got something to say about that?
No, it's just I'm so what they're trying, if who I wonder who made that proposal.
Washington
made that proposal about man, yeah, they need everything that they
need as big of an audition as they can have.
Exactly.
They need as much practice as they can get. I mean, they did win the division.
In the words of most people that say disrespectful things, with no disrespect, Washington, you should have thought of something else. But moving on.
You think they just threw that out there, like, hey, what about this idea?
Like, who's thinking about it that much?
How about?
I mean, we got to go back.
Tuesdays.
We got to go back and see. I guess they probably played it in an overtime game in preseason. I don't even know if they keep track of that. But let's get off of it. This is a big one. And it can go a couple different ways. Talk of moving the touchback line to the 25. Balls that go in the end zone will now be spotted at the 25-yard line. What do you think?
This is all about field position, man. You're talking about now.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Like you said earlier, that means that maybe kickers are not going to try to kick that ball out through the end zone because there's if the kicker
they're trying to pin them deep.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to try to pin them deep because if there's no return, the receiving team is going to get the ball in the 25. So now those kickers are going to be like, all right, well, let's try to pin these guys back. I'm not going to kick it out of the end zone,
which is counterproductive.
So now you're almost forcing the receiving team to make a return if they want, or if you wanted to pin them inside, their own 25.
Which would then be counterproductive because the reason why the kick was moved back in the first place was so there would be more touchbacks, therefore less injuries because it's the most injury-plagued play. So it'd be kind of counterproductive. And I also, because if they're going to try and pin them back, you got all those collisions again. But at the same time, they're saying maybe no one will take the ball out of the end zone because they'll be like, oh, we're going to get it on the 25. I'll just take a knee there. So it could go either way. I don't like it. Do not shorten the field. No. That's why I don't like it.
And if you're going to make that much of a huge change with
that'd be a major change.
Then you know what? Then the kickoff needs to be treated like a punt. If you can kick the ball to the 1 yard line on a kickoff from the tee, because think about all these specialty kickers that are in the league right now. They come from rugby. They come from soccer style. They can put the ball in the spot. So if you can kick a kickoff instead of doing an onside kick, and you can pin them at the 1 yard line, just like you could if you had a good punter. then I'll agree to it.
Yeah, but
Because if you gamble and miss and then it touchbacks, then they get it at the 25.
well, I think that's how it would go. I mean, just like
That's
in
not how
regular
it goes.
play.
Because if you kick it, if you kick an a kickoff.
Yeah, you
out
said
of bounds-
onside kick before you
Yeah,
lost me there.
Yeah. Well, onside kick, again, is a part of the kickoff. It's a kickoff procedure. But if you kick that out of bounds, that's an illegal procedure.
Oh yeah, Oh, so you're saying if the ball bounces out, they no longer get it at the 40 or the 35? Okay, I see what you're saying there. You
Then
lost
get rid
me.
of that.
Okay, well, no, that would be cool because then you could coffin corner kick the kickoff. Is basically what you're saying.
Exactly.
That's what
And
you
with
meant by
all these
trailing
specialty kickers,
punt.
they're going to be able to
you're
put
gonna-
the
that would
ball
be
on the
cool.
spot.
That would be cool. if
You're
you
going
could
to see a
really-
whole lot more strategy on just kickoffs alone going into this year if that rule does get,
Oh man, now
put
I'm
into
really
place.
torn on it. I'm really torn on it because I mean, like if Coughlin was still in the league and coaching my team, he'd be telling them to kick it out the back of the end zone, and I wouldn't like it then.
Well, that's
Do you know what I mean?
But that's what
Like-
coaches were probably telling their kickers
That is, yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Last year at least, because I mean, getting the ball at the 20, that's standard procedure. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now with this going 5 yards, further downfield, that's going to set up, a lot of more strategic kickoffs where the coach is going to say, hey, don't kick the ball out of the end zone. Try to, pin them inside at least the 20-yard line, if not, back farther than that.
I did not think of it from this perspective. You guys are really kind of talking me into this. I think we're going to have more action the way you're saying it. Yeah, like you're saying if the ball goes out of bounds, it's not a penalty.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm
It's
down
all
with that.
about field position, and this is
You really have an opportunity to hit them back further
exactly.
than usual.
It's going to
Yeah.
make it's
exactly.
going to make the start of a game that much more interesting.
All right, you guys are kind of, I think you pulled me over to the other side. Let's keep going. Delay a game if a team calls a timeout and is out of timeouts. I thought this was already a rule.
So pull a C-Web when he was at Michigan.
Yeah,
He's like, hold up, I don't know what you're talking about.
Wolverines.
Yeah, all right, yeah, because it's March Madness time, so I thought I'd
We
make
will
a-
not
I'll
talk
make a
March
college.
Madness. No.
I didn't say that we were, but I was just saying it's March Madness time, and and the drop that I just made happened to be in a national championship. So I thought that was kind of funny. He called a timeout when he didn't have one.
Here's
So
the
they
thing
wanna
with
make
Caused
that a
the Fab
penalty.
Five.
the thing with that is if you don't have a play set and you're calling a timeout, like you're running over the ref, like timeout. You probably
You're gonna get a delay
get a
anyway.
delay of game anyway because the play clock is going to run out. So
Yeah.
I don't really see this rule being that big of a deal in the first
Yeah,
place.
I already thought it was a rule, so I'm going to say I'm okay with it.
So even if that goes through, I don't think anything is really going to change.
All right, we talked about expanding the horse collar rule. I don't want to get back into that. They're saying that usually you have to get your hand inside the shoulder pads, but now they're saying even if you just grab the stitched on name, it would be a penalty. Okay, we got two more kind of big ones. Let's go with this one first. No more chop blocks at all, even in the trenches. So
dig
what
it.
this is then saying, if a guard's hitting the tackle, the defensive tackle low, the center can't come in and hit him high. They want to make that a penalty. I think that's going to be too hard to call, and I think it's going to happen incidentally a lot. I'm not that down with it. Why are you cool with it?
I'm cool with it because with all these players getting hurt and all, and these quicker DNs, these offensive linemen are, required to make quick movement, and they're big boys.
A lot of weight.
So, yeah, you can't just chop block somebody and then try to put them out for the rest of the game because she was giving you a hard time. Those days are done.
What do you think about it, Sean?
I don't really have an opinion on it either way, to be honest.
Yeah, see, the only reason why I don't like it is, I think it's going to happen incidentally all the time. It's such a mix-up in there, and I think it's going to destroy the running game, and I think it might get your quarterback killed. You got to look at it from that
If it
perspective,
does
too.
go through, I can see it being one of those things where you're going to see flags thrown for it,
Yeah.
and nothing actually happened with it. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like it.
Oh, it'll get picked up, you're saying?
They're going to throw the flag, and then they're going to be like, oh, there was no penalty on the field for a chop block.
All right.
Yeah, we'll
Okay. Now, this is the one that I think is another real big one. Not as big as moving the touchback line, but everybody sees the tablets that all the players and coaches have now. They're only allowed to look at still photographs. In the Pro Bowl this past year, they experimented with seeing basically the game film. Do you know what I mean? Like live and watching plays, instant replay. They're talking about making that standard practice where everybody could be looking at their tablet on the sidelines watching video. What do you think, John?
Why weren't they doing it already?
It's my game.
Yeah, but then at least then everybody has everybody's stuff, and then everybody's equal.
It's fair. It's a level playing
It's
field.
yeah,
Okay.
and then you know what? Then I can, I know I didn't say it on the podcast, but I've always said that the Patriots Super Bowls in that era need to have an asterisk. And then when people are like, "Hey,
I agree.
why is there an asterisk there?" Well,
Because you cheated.
because there was speculation of cheating, and there was a lot of tampering with things, so they get an asterisk.
This is how I see it. You got one says Vinatieri, one says Tuck rule. Can't forget about the Tuck rule in the championship. All right, and then you got Spygate, then you got Deflategate. It's always going to be said. Sorry, people from New England. It's always going to be said.
Yeah, here's the thing, because I'm gonna make a.
I'm not sorry.
I know you're a baseball guy, right? If Pete Rose can't be in the Hall of Fame because he gambled, right?
Yeah,
But
he
the-
should
but
be in
the-
the Hall of Fame
but
because
the-
it's
but-
about what he did on the baseball field, not what he did off the baseball field.
But the
that's my
Patriots
opinion.
also cheated, and and I guarantee it, Bill Belichick's going to be in the Hall.
Well, I hate Bill
Different.
Belichick and I hate the Patriots. So
Totally different, though. I agree with you that it should be more on the field. The reason how he's different from the Patriots is
he cheated
gambled.
on the field.
No, he gambled on sports, which then means are you throwing games? That's why it's such a
questionable.
big deal. They're not going to say the Patriots were throwing games. Do you know what I mean?
No,
Who
because
was
they
that?
were
What is that?
no,
the
'cause they
Black
were
Sox?
cheating.
The Black Sox
What?
through the World Series.
what are you talking about?
Seriously, the World Series that like got like paid off. They threw the game. They call it the Black Sox. It was the White Sox. They threw the whole World Series.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They took a dive. It was like like,
I think
I'm not even going to say I know
don't
what
even
decade
know.
it was, but we're
I don't know what
talking
you're talking
before our parents
Wow.
were born. We're talking about like when like people like Yogi Berra played, and when people like Babe Ruth played. They threw a World Series at one time and
Yeah,
got paid off
so-
to do it. You guys really have never heard about this?
I don't.
They made
watch
movies.
baseball.
Neither do I. They made movies about it.
Oh, that's
I
fine.
do, but I
That's cool.
seriously don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. I remember, like the last time I watched baseball, like actively, David Justice was still an Atlanta Brave. So,
Wow, that's going back.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been a hot minute. But honestly, going back into football, those Patriots need to have an asterisk because they cheated on the field. They had coordinators and people videotaping the defensive signals, and now with technology, you can't avoid the fact that people have video now. So now they have to just use it now. Videos on everything, man.
Level the playing field.
Yeah, exactly. So and with the added angles and things, we're gonna see more intelligent moves on the fly with these teams. They're gonna be able to make quicker adjustments, and we're gonna see better games. If you want to talk about the integrity of the game, yeah, give them a tool to make the game more effective for them to go out on the field and become, good at their job. It would be like me being a carpenter and being like, I'll give you a hammer and maybe a saw, but I'm just going to give you a hand saw. I got these others, like electric saws over here, but you can't touch those. You ain't ready for those yet. You ain't ready to work with those yet.
But I was going to bring this up later, but you guys really got into the Patriots. Now, Robert Kraft has written a letter to Roger Goodell asking him to reinstate the first-round draft pick loss from Deflategate and to lift Tom Brady's suspension. I don't know why. The Tom Brady part, is in the, the U.S. Court of Appeals, the Second Circuit. All right, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
why is he writing a letter asking to get this stuff back? They're in court. Like, I don't know what this is going to do.
It's just bringing unnecessary attention to their squad.
Yeah, I think it's just to create media hype, to make Robert Kraft and all them and all the Patriots just look like, oh, look at us and boo-hoo. They're being mean to us because we're great and da-da-da-da-da. It's not going to do anything. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Patriots. I believe that they stole a Super Bowl from my boys, even even with Jake Delhomme at the helm. But
I know what you mean.
yeah,
I hated
because
Jake
yeah,
Delhomme
you got
so much.
because your boys lost the following year.
That was the Spygate year.
Yeah. Well, do you don't think Spygate was happening before that? Before they got
No, it probably was.
No, everyone was. It was allowed, and then it was no longer allowed.
Yeah.
That was common practice to be filming the teams like that. It was at one time allowed. They then made it illegal. Patriots kept doing it. Got caught red-handed.
They still cheated.
Yeah, but it wasn't like they drew up a scheme to do this. They just kept on when it became a rule.
All I'm hearing you're saying is that the Patriots still cheated.
Believe me, I got no love.
I
for
got
New England.
no love for them Patriots.
But let's get back to these annual meetings because, like I said, some of the GMs and stuff are talking. All right, how's everybody doing out there today? Thanks for tuning into this special edition Voice of Bedlam podcast. If you want to take that next jump with your business or company, you need to come over and advertise on the Voice of Bedlam podcast. Get your ad heard by thousands on a reoccurring basis. Just click buy now and send us your info. Thanks a lot, guys.